Hey, how's it going everyone? In today's video, we are going to be talking about CD Projekt Red announcing some important information about the Peralez quest. Specifically, is it tied to the expansion update? We are also going to be talking about Edgerunners, and to finish it off, we have to talk about the Relic attribute. And before we start, if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and if you have any questions by the end of the video, leave them down below. I will try to answer them. First off, if you did not know, CD Projekt Red's quest director, Sasko, has a Twitch. What's so cool about this is that during his streams, he will answer questions. So if you throw down one in the chat, he will most likely answer it if it's a good one. During one of his streams, he was asked this, quote, "Have you considered finishing the Peralez questline?" End quote. He then responds with, quote, "What I can tell you is that we finished it. That was from the very beginning. Intended to be like this, you know? We wanted to finish the storyline with some ambiguity. So if you were expecting a three-way with Peralez like this Reddit user was, then you're going to be highly disappointed that there's no storyline left for them. Of course, this does not mean it's the end of the storyline behind the Peralez, right? We have yet to uncover this anonymous person that did brainwash both Jefferson and Elizabeth. So pretty much it's safe to say that there is more to the story, except there's no Peralez behind it. There's none of them. They're not going to be within the storyline anymore. It's pretty much done for. Moving on forward, there was another question asked within the stream. This was, quote, "Why did you choose Unreal Engine 5? And then continue with the Red Engine?" Sasko then replies back, essentially saying that it was not his choice, yet he did have a part in it, to basically express his thoughts. He then continues on, quote, "As a creator of games, like one thing that you really want to do and what you are trying to do is to make sure that you can work on amazing games and provide the players with the best possible experience. That's how it basically works." Now, I will be honest, he did provide a little bit more to this Twitch stream, yet it's just hard to quote all of it exactly. What he was talking about is that the Red Engine was pretty much pushed to its limits. Not only this, for the company to invest more money into this engine would have just been costly. It would have just been too much. Instead, they would rather just go towards the Unreal Engine 5 because it's easier to license, it's not as expensive. And so on top of that, this may provide them with more employees so that they're not investing so much money into this program. They could probably recruit some more developers to produce some really cool games. This should be interesting to see what Witcher may look like, or even the Project Orion. I am quite curious on these, and to see what they will turn out to be is going to be exciting. With that being said, how do you feel about this? Do you think CD Projekt Red is making the right move in terms of swapping over to Unreal Engine 5? Do you think that the games that they develop are going to be good? Is it going to be somewhat bug-free? I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. Let's now talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Did you know that the anime is now receiving a tabletop game over at Telsorian Games? The questions do not end there, because there was one more asked within the stream that is worth mentioning. One of the players asked, "What about companions in Cyberpunk 2077? Sasko then replies back, essentially saying that he's not too sure if it's the most useful feature to add to Cyberpunk. In my opinion, I think it's a really cool idea. I'm not too sure how useful it would be for some players, because some do not want companions, they rather just go in straight ahead. Maybe they can make it an option, right? Or add it to certain missions. This player had one more question, and it was about a Cyberpunk squad-based game. Sasko then replied back saying that it's a good idea. You never really know what the Cyberpunk future could hold, and honestly, I'm interested in that as well. Let's now talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Did you know that the anime is now receiving a tabletop game? Over at Telsorian Games, they announced the Cyberpunk Edgerunners mission kit. Now on the site, they go on to explain more about this. Quote, "The Cyberpunk Edgerunners mission kit will guide fans of the series new to tabletop role-playing through the process of telling their own stories in Night City. At the same time, existing players of the Cyberpunk Red will get their first glimpse into the cyberware firepower, and net running skills of the 2077 era. My first thoughts after reading this was, wow, maybe we are going to receive some more lore. This would be absolutely tremendous because I love reading up on these certain characters, their backstories, and to learn more would just be phenomenal. And I'm sure you guys out there are just like me. You want to learn more about the Edgerunners because, of course, if you did not know, there's not going to be another season. Sadly, it just ends there. There was an interesting interview over at Famitsu. One of the anime producers talked about how it pretty much is just left at a standalone. It was not meant to have a second season. He then went on to explain how if there was going to be another cyberpunk type of anime, then it would be something completely different, something with probably different characters, a different scene. I would imagine maybe up in space. That would be really cool. Can we learn more about what's up there at the Crystal Palace? I think that would be a good idea. And lastly, let's talk about what we can expect out of the Phantom Liberty DLC. The first thing that I would like to mention is that it appears that soon we might be able to purchase the Relic attribute. If you did not know, in update 1.61, it now allows you to have the purchase option above the Relic. Of course, this could be just a simple bug that made its way into the patch, or this actually is just a good hint that we are going to be able to use the Relic attribute sometime in the near future. The most obvious guess would be sometime in 2023, because of course that is when the Phantom Liberty is going to be released, sometime in that year. One can hope that we will receive some old school weapons such as the Cyberpunk 2022, or some of the tabletop weapons that are not in the actual game itself. I'm curious as to what you guys think about the tabletop game. Do you plan on purchasing the Edgerunners? Do you plan on playing this with some of your friends? And most importantly, do you think there is some actual lore in this so that we can learn more about the Cyberpunk Edgerunners? Even though, you know, we're not going to receive any seasons, maybe we can learn some more information this way. And last but not least, I do want to talk about the mystery behind the code on the statue FF06B5. If you are not too aware of what this is, then let me briefly explain it. There are about 6 to 8 statues, including the ones in the apartment. The mystery behind these statues is that it's going to lead us to some big secret, maybe an Easter egg, or maybe we are able to receive a huge reward. We really do not know. The only real piece of information that we have all gathered together as a community is that, of course, the code leads to magenta or a pink color. There's also the monks that tell us that our chakra in our throats is blocked. And I feel like this is the most important information, which is really obvious, is that in the patches before, the code was actually red. And now in the latest patch, or the last 2 or 3, it's turned into a yellow color. The whole idea behind this is that when we do receive the next patch, or better yet, the Phantom Liberty DLC, this is when we will be able to uncover the biggest mystery in Cyberpunk. And there you go. This is all the information I have to share with you guys today because, of course, this is the latest Cyberpunk news. If you guys have any questions about what was talked about within the video, leave it down below. One more thing I would like to mention before I go, and that is I want to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, and genuinely, I appreciate every single one of you that does stop by and watch the videos. So a big thank you to everyone that is currently subscribed and is a current member, or those that have even left a thanks comment where you donate even like $5. That's really cool. Someone did that in the last video. I love that stuff, and I hope that you guys continue to support the channel, and I will see you all on the next video.